Hi, woman of welcome. I actually recorded a live video earlier today, but then I didn't save it. So here I am again doing a live video. Now, Sarah actually, when she's been doing live videos, she's been coming to you with great music and dance moves. Something I just feel super ill-equipped to provide. So one of the things that I am going to maybe bring to the table as we wait for a few more people to sign on is my comfort foods. And the reason that I'm going to be talking about my comfort foods is because it directly relates to what I want to be talking with you about, which is our new video resource. And you might need all of your emotional comfort foods, go-to foods, when engaging with this new resource. So I'm going to show you what some of my comfort foods are, because I don't have the dance moves and all of the music like Sarah does. But okay, so my emotional eating go-tos, before we get into the resource that's probably going to need all of the emotional foodie things that you have. I always chips and salsa. Like, this is late July's. I love late July's. Chips, guac, queso. It's my go-to. Also, I know it's so bad for you. Coke. I know I should be drinking water, but it's Coke, right? And then, of course, because I'm up working late, because my kids don't necessarily let me work well during the day, I'm watching all of these stories and digging through headlines and things. I'm like, okay, well, I can't do this by myself. So, of course, I've got Bomb Chick Pop. Boom Chick Pop. Whatever this is amazing. And I know Sarah also eats this for emotional health as well. I'm calling it health, yes. But I'm coming to you tonight and showing you my emotional foodie go-tos, because the new resource I'm going to tell you about is emotionally challenging. And we've been talking a lot in this community about being bold and brave and not doing things alone, but together as a community. And ladies, human dignity issues are complex, and we cannot enter into these hard spaces and stick around for the long haul unless we do it together. Sure, you can engage and you can be present, but if you don't have a community of women, you're not connecting with other women in this community or in your own, it's going to be very hard to sustain in some of these hard places for the long haul. So I would encourage you can get in a connect group over at our website. You can host a group, you can join a group. We've got free Bible studies for you. So I hope you're connecting with other women, but you need to do that in order to stay in the long haul. So many of you have reached out and said, I feel so lonely in this space. I feel alienated. I feel misunderstood. And this is the place for you. We are all on a journey and we're in this together. So this new resource that we have for you has had me emotionally eating my way through all the development and the finalization of it since last fall, because it's going to be a hard one to take in, and it's going to require a lot of courage. And hopefully you've been going through Bold and Brave. We have a print ready file, and then we have a digital file that you can download. And I like to take mine to the print shop because I like something tangible, but I still do have the digital one that you can do on your iPad or your phone. But hopefully you're going through that, and that is spurring you on and encouraging you to take some bold and some brave steps and some things. But that's what we're doing. In this community, we are choosing to show up, to seek truth, and to advocate well for this vulnerable population of immigrants and refugees. So this new resource is called While in Our Care, and it's a video series, and it's been in the making since last summer, actually, and it centers around the stories of migrant children who were held in immigration detention facilities in 2019. And some of you might be asking, why did we make a resource about stories or happenings from 2019? Because if we don't remember well, if we don't seek out the truth about how our immigration system works, or how people are treated that have entrusted themselves to our policies and our processes, we're bound to repeat egregious practices unworthy of our position and posture as a nation, and more importantly, unworthy of people of Christ, and what we say we care about, and how people are treated. People who are made in the image of God are treated and cared for. So here's what's coming your way in the next post. that you'll see from Women of Welcome and over the next coming days, in the next couple of weeks. It's a video series called While in Our Care, and the video series highlights just a handful of testimonies from migrant children that were held in U.S. custody during the height of family separation back in 2017 and 2018, and a little bit in 2019. So what I first want us to remember when you engage with this resource is the Flores Agreement. So do you remember what the Flores Agreement is? We talk about the Flores Agreement seems to be like we talk about it a lot, but it's a nationwide policy that sets the standards for the detention, release, and treatment of migrant children that are held in U.S. custody, specifically under the U.S. Immigration and Naturalization Services Department. And these policies in the Flores Agreement are routinely monitored and checked and evaluated by immigration lawyers in detention facilities. So hang on to that context about the Flores Agreement. Remember, some of the big highlights of the Flores Agreement are that children are not to be held in jail-like facilities for more than 72 hours, that they are to be kept in the least restrictive setting possible, and to be moved into the care of child specialized facilities and care centers in ORR, which is the Office of Refugee Resettlement. So the Flores Agreement ensures that they quickly get expedited to specialized facilities for them. So if you remember, back in 2017, 2018, the previous administration, the Trump administration, had implemented zero tolerance along the southern border, which effectively criminalized anyone crossing to the border and therefore separated thousands of children from their parents. And the country was actually horrified by this practice, and faith-based communities joined with other Americans to speak out against the practice, and the policy and practice was ordered to end in 2018. But in 2019, a group of immigration lawyers who do these routine practices to make sure that we're in compliance of the Flores Agreement were doing these monitoring checks along the U.S.-Mexico border and facilities, and they interviewed migrant children that had been or were separated from their parents in these facilities. And the stories that they heard hundreds of stories. They took the testimonies recorded the hundreds of stories, which turned into really testimonies from children about the care and the treatment that they received. And the stories that these immigration lawyers heard from children was so egregious that they decided to break their confidentiality agreements and go with these stories to the press. And these stories became testimonies. They became exhibits in a case against the U.S. government for violations of the Flores Agreement and the horrific conditions that these children were subject to while in U.S. care. So this resource is bringing to you really hard stories to engage with. And we're going to boldly challenge you to lean in and to listen to these stories. And I have to be honest, these stories are really hard. So just fair warning, these are really hard stories. But honestly, I'm so convicted that these are stories that we must, as a community, listen to. They're stories we have to pull up a chair and face confidently. And I just want to encourage you, a group of women have already gone before you in listening to these stories. And these videos are being read to you in this resource by a group of women from the Women of Welcome community. We have mothers and aunties and grandmothers who decided to sit down and have an honest look at the treatment of children in our care. And it was a hard, emotional filming to read these stories. But a group from this community has already done this and already looked into this, and we filmed it. And then after we read just a handful of the hundreds of stories, we had an honest discussion. How did we get here? How did this happen? Is this still happening? Why would parents send their kids to this kind of treatment? What is pushing them to send kids? Why would anybody do this? Or why would our government do this? There's just a lot of questions that just naturally crop up, either in your heart or in the hearts and minds of your family members or communities. And we talk about those. So there's about 8 stories for you to engage with. And then there's a discussion piece from a group in Women of Welcome that have faced these stories already. And I talked with several ladies who did some of these story reads and telling them, hey, we're about to release these stories. And several of them just text back and said, I don't know if I can watch the stories again. I don't know if I can do it. And I get it. And I said, you know what? I get it. You've faced them. You've looked at them. And they're like, I know I need to, but it's going to be hard. And that's what I'm just letting you know. Like, this is a really challenging resource, but it's one that we have to enter into really well. We have to know the truth. We have to honor these children by listening to their stories. And it's important for us because what it does is it actually helps give us confidence to what we're really advocating for. And that is for a change in how we receive and treat people who are coming to the United States. For whatever reason, we are pursuing Christ-like welcome, and we're all on a journey to do that. And these stories give us an honest look at the loopholes and the challenges that we have in our current welcome towards people. And so I'm going to ask you to be bold. I'm going to ask you to be brave. Pace yourself. But this video series is important, and we hope that you will join in and watch these with us and process with us and grieve with us, lament with us, and then engage. And so many of you, after you watch these videos, you're going to ask, what can I do? We cannot let this happen again. And we've got a letter we'd like you to sign on to. But let's first just address the stories. Let's listen to the stories, and then we'll tell you what we want to do as collectively as a community to try and ensure that this kind of situation, this kind of treatment never happens again on our watch. So, ladies, we're with you. We're in this community together, and we can do hard things. We can do bold things. We might have to do it at a slow pace, but we can do it. We can do it together. And hopefully the study that we've been going through this spring will help encourage you to do these hard things and face things that really seem unbelievable, but that we need to address and that we need to care about and honor. So the next post you see will be of the videos. And so I hope you'll take them in. I hope you'll comment, let us know what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and I hope you'll share them and honor these children. All right, ladies, love you very much. Thanks for being a part of this community. The videos will be shared on social this week and next week. And then if you are like, I need more, it's womenofwelcome.com/whileinOurCare. And you can find them there. But we'll be sharing them with you on social over the next couple of days and weeks. So thanks, ladies.